Welcome to the Thrive, Make Money Matter podcast. I am your host, Cole Hatter. On this podcast, I will share the best lessons delivered at the Thrive Conference live from speakers who happen to be 40 of the top business leaders and thought leaders in the world. If you are unfamiliar with my event, it was voted the #1 must-attend business conference for entrepreneurs and career professionals by several publications, including Inc., Entrepreneur, and Forbes. The episodes are quick, high-content, actionable steps to show you how to thrive in business and in life. If you're ready to go to the next level, this podcast was made for you. Enjoy. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Cole, and welcome to another episode of the Thrive, Make Money Matter podcast. In this episode, I have the honor of bringing you a living legend, none other than the Jack Canfield himself. If you've ever heard of Chicken Soup for the Soul, this is the genius behind the work, the series, the magic that is the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And so when I had the opportunity to have Jack come and speak at Thrive, I couldn't believe it. And he was so generous this time, he actually gave for the whole conference. So a lot of people at his caliber, they come and go, right? They are in, they say what they got to say, and they bounce. Jack was so impressed with what Thrive was doing and the other speakers we had speaking there. He's like, do you mind if I stick around? And he was literally there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all 3 days of our event, and was in the room listening to most of my other speakers. I was like, dude, you're a freaking legend. You're 76 years old, yet you're sitting here listening to my other speakers. I wonder why you're so successful. So that's the first lesson right there that you won't see in this podcast or on this YouTube video, is that Jack literally got there on Thursday, left on Monday, and spent as much time in that room as any other attendee, taking notes and learning from other speakers. So that just goes to say, number one, Thrive is badass, and you should probably come this year. Number two, that Jack Canfield is a super successful person who still, at 76 years old, gazillionaire living legend, still invests in personal development. So that was just a tangent I wanted to share with you. In this next clip, you're going to hear Jack talk about he and his company interviewed over 2,000 entrepreneurs. And of the super, hyper, ridiculous, successful entrepreneurs that he interviewed, there were three common things. So imagine this. 2,000 people, that's a grip of people. That's enough to really get some good metrics, get some good data back. And out of the 2,000 people, the ones that were the most successful always had three things in common. In this next clip, Jack is going to share that with you. Enjoy.
I wrote a book called The Power of Focus. And one of the things we did, we interviewed 2,000 entrepreneurs, some verbally, some by questionnaire, found out that there were three key differences between those that were super successful and those that weren't. And the first thing is they had unusual clarity. They knew exactly what their goals, vision, values, purpose, objectives were at all times. You could ask them, they could tell you. Most people can't. So unusual clarity, and we'll talk about that today. They have developed powerful success habits. I love the quote that Ty said, sets and reps. I love that. Habits, things you do over and over and over and over until they become part of you. You don't have to think about it anymore. I don't think about flossing my teeth. I love what my dentist said. You don't have to floss all your teeth, just the ones you want to keep. I thought that was pretty cool. So, at first I had to put a little sign on my mirror that says, floss your teeth, floss your teeth, floss your teeth, floss your teeth. Eventually it's like, brush your teeth, you go to bed, you get dressed in the morning, you don't think about it. So disciplines of success that you do every single day. Visualization, meditation, gratitude, things like that. And then take 100% responsibility for their results, and they're action-oriented.
So how awesome is that? Again, for those of you that are watching this on YouTube to actually see Jack Canfield doing his things, for those of you that are tuning in via podcast, again, you got to hear the man himself. And so what did Jack say? Well, number one, when he looked at, again, these 2,000 successful entrepreneurs, the number one thing that he found that they did was they had clarity. He didn't just say clarity, he said unusual clarity. So I see a lot of people winging it. As a matter of fact, I'm very guilty of that. I'm pretty good at winging things. For instance, I've got a TEDx talk. I was asked to go and speak at TEDx, and I was like, I'll just get up there and wing it. Unfortunately, they require me to submit literally almost a transcription of everything I'm going to say ahead of time, and that's unusual for me to sit down and focus. So I am somebody just by nature that flies by the seat of my pants. But the things that I've done that have been by far the most successful, like Thrive, like the podcast and the content that you're getting right now, have been very thought out and have had absolute clarity on. So by nature, I'm a spur of the moment type of guy. But when it comes to creating things that matter, some of the things that I'm most proud of and have succeeded the greatest in, again, it is always followed by clarity. So when Jack said that, I evaluated myself and I said, you know what? The greatest, most wowing, awe-inspiring things I've ever done, I got very clear on. I didn't just wing those things. I took some time. So number one, if you're the type of person who's like me that just wings things and is having success, congratulations. Try slowing down and actually thinking out the things that need to be done and getting absolute clarity. The second thing that he talks about is success habits. And he even quoted Ty Lopez, who spoke before him. Again, here's Jack backstage. Instead of preparing for his own talk, watching on the backstage monitors in the green room, Ty Lopez talk. And in Ty's talk, he talked about repetitions. He said that successful people do reps like in the gym, and those repetitions become habits. And that's what Jack Canfield's talking about. Successful people have what are called success habits. They spend time figuring out what works, and they do it so much they don't have to think about it. He talks about flossing. He says, when I started flossing, I had to think about it every day. I had to have a note on my mirror reminding me to floss. Now I don't have to think about it because I've done it for so long, so many times, so many repetitions every single day. It just comes naturally to me now. I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, I get dressed, I floss. I don't have to remind myself. It's just part of who I am. Now, flossing is a very simple example, but what might be a better thing to do as far as a habit is reading. Try reading a book. Try listening to more podcasts. Of course, subscribe to this one because this is your favorite podcast, right? Or if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe below because this is your favorite YouTube channel, right? But making it a habit to consume content daily would be a very good success habit to have, and then something to create repetitions around. And then the third thing he shared that I actually really appreciate he shared is that entrepreneurs take responsibility for the results. I freaking love that. If I have one more person complain about Donald Trump or the economy or their job or Obama or whatever else of why they're not succeeding, I want to reach through the computer screen and slap them, or through your earphones right now and flick your eardrums, because you are where you are because you've decided to be there. Guess what? And underneath Obama, I made millions of dollars. Underneath Trump, I'm going to make millions of dollars. I had a boss who sucked, so you know what I did? Fired him and started my own company. And so here's the point. I don't mean to be condescending or rude, but I want to be right to the point when I say, when Jack Canfield says the third thing that of these 2,000 successful entrepreneurs was one of the greatest things they did, that was the most common, was that they accept a responsibility. I can't tell you how many people want to blame someone else. Oh, no, well, this happened because of this, and this guy screwed me because of this. And, oh, it's my bank. They charged me too high of an interest rate. Okay, well then why did you agree to that loan at that high interest rate? So the point is, we control our future. I do not believe that I'm just a leaf floating down the river, going wherever the river wants to go. Life is going to happen. So I can't make the river go the opposite direction, but I sure as heck can control the direction of the river, in the sense that I can dig canals and I can build dams, and maybe we're going too far down this metaphor, but I know that life's going to happen. I can't decide to live 500 years. So in a sense, I am cruising down a river, but I'm not just aimlessly going anywhere. I am directing where that river goes. And so that is me having responsibility. I've lost tons of money. I've been in bad partnerships. I lost $170,000 cash on one bad transaction because I believed in somebody else. I gave him my money because he promised he would make me rich. He lost all of that money. He went to federal prison for it. And that must be nice too. I'm just thinking as I'm sharing this with you, there are a lot of podcasters out there that don't actually have businesses. They just podcast. What's going to be cool is when I'm teaching you guys through these podcasts, I'm actually going to speak through real life business experience because I actually happened to be an entrepreneur. That being said, I gave this guy $170,000. He freaking lost all of it. He went to federal prison for it because he didn't just take my money. He took about $1 million collectively from other people as well. I lost $170,000. I was pissed. It sucked. But do you know what I did about it? I went and made it all back. Not that money, I made more money. I made new money, and I've made millions since. You know what some people might do? Oh, that guy this, and then they get a job, and then their life is all over. So I've really emphasized the third point the most. Let's just recap them real quick. When it comes to the 2,000 people that Jack Canfield, the Jack Canfield himself, of those 2,000 entrepreneurs that he interviewed, The third one was they take responsibility for the results. The second one, going backwards, was that they have success habits, that they have repetition, that they find things that work and they do it again and again and again. And the first thing that he shared with us that he sees that all entrepreneurs do is they have unusually clear focus. That they don't just, oh yeah, I've got an idea. I want to, no. Unusually clear. Like they know how much money they're going to make by what date. That's the type of clarity he's talking about. Now, hey, I'm gonna start a business. No. I'm gonna start a business, and the first 90 days I'm gonna make 100 grand. The first year I'm gonna make 500 grand. Then by year 2, like unusual clarity. And with that type of clarity, you can work backwards and figure out the step-by-step process of making it happen. You start with the end in sight, or in mind, excuse me. You start with the end in mind, and then you go backwards to figure out how to make that a reality. So I could go on and on and on about Jack Canfield. I can make this a 1-hour episode on just those 3 things he shared, but I do like to keep these between 7 and 15 minutes. So for the sake of that, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. But really spend some time thinking about that. And if you're watching on YouTube, in the comments below, leave me a comment about what it is that you have clarity on or lack clarity on. Maybe someone else can jump into that thread, help you out. Talk about what your success reps look like. What do you do every single day to work towards success? And maybe share some of your failures that you're willing to admit to. Like I just told the whole world I lost 170 G's because I trusted someone I shouldn't have, and that was my bad. Yes, he lost the money, but guess who wrote the check? Yours truly did. So can I point fingers and say he's an a-hole? Of course I can. But who gave him the money? I did. So I got to accept responsibility for that. I moved on. I've made millions since. So take a second to leave a comment below on your failures, on your success habits, and on what it is that you have or want clarity on. If you're listening to this on iTunes, please subscribe, please rate and review. Please share this with a friend. We want to get this message out to as many people as we possibly can. And of course, you can go over to the website and catch all the videos and all the episodes at attendthrive.com/podcast. That is attendthrive.com/podcast. Or, of course, you can head over to youtube.com/Cole Hatter. If you're watching on YouTube, you already know. But if you're listening to this, youtube.com/Cole Hatter, and you're going to see me in front of the camera, and you'll actually, instead of hearing these clips of Jack and all these other guys, you can actually watch them cruising around. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I'm excited to bring you another episode soon. Peace.